My name is Peter Nemes, and I have diabetes. It sucks. I'd give my left foot to not have it. I mean, I'm probably going to lose it sooner or later anyways, right? Do you guys know the symptoms of having diabetes? You know, pre-diagnosis? No? So there's blurry vision, there's tingly fingertips. For me, it was a burning sensation when I peed. So I went to the clinic, I told the doctor asked me, have you been cheating on your partner? Have you been seeing other women? I said, no, I haven't. He looked me dead in the eye and he said, well, she probably has. I think you have chlamydia. So I went out, I got tested, I peed in the cup, they took a blood sample. About a week later, of course, I got the results. The doctor told me, Mr. Nemes, we have good news and we have bad news. The good news, I was wrong, it's not chlamydia. Your penis wouldn't be more clean if you dipped it in a vat of rubbing alcohol. But we do have bad news.
What's your name?
The blood sample, well, there was no blood sample. Mr. Nemes, your body is coursing with high fructose corn syrup. Mr. Nemes, you have type 2 diabetes. But, if it's any consolation, I am sure you taste delicious. Thank you. It was not easy finding out I had a terminal illness like diabetes. Okay, terminal, long-term terminal. Like 5 years off, right? But I had an easy upbringing, you know? I grew up in one of the whitest cities in the country, actually. Most of my classmates have never seen a black person. In high school, we would have parties in the gymnasium hosted by the teachers. We'd get rides home from the police officers, and our parents didn't even care as long as we were drinking locally brewed Grain Belt Premium Light beer. It's an easy life. It's an easy life when that's the rules for you. Do you guys want to hear the worst thing that's ever happened to me? The worst thing that a person has ever done to me? So we'll start out. Well, it's a little bit of a story. We're at a party here, and I'm telling some jokes, some cold jokes, and this guy says, you know what? You reminded me of Dane Cook because you weren't funny at all. So I excused myself to the bathroom to pee, but really, I was excusing myself to the bathroom to cry. So I'm up there, you know, I calm down a little bit, and I'm about to leave, and this guy blocks the doorway. I try to walk past him, he pushes me. He pulls out a bottle of Carmex and sprinkles some white powder on it. And he says, you're not leaving here until you do some cocaine with me. I won't let you leave. Now, let's take a little sidestep here. I wanna contextualize my experience with drugs, my opinion on drugs more so. If cocaine is offered to you freely, that's cool, right? Yeah, do it. When it's forced upon you, that's just nose rape, right? So, I wanted to leave the bathroom, and so I did the cocaine. I didn't want to, but you know, that was the worst thing anybody ever did to me, because I hate Dane Cook. Dane Cook is one of the worst comedians there ever was. But at least I got a little cocaine out of the deal, right? So, a couple months ago, my wife got fired from her job. It was confounding, you know? I couldn't figure it out. I had no idea a prostitute could get fired. I mean, how do you get fired for sucking dick, right?
Yeah.
I kept trying to figure out how did this happen, but I figured it out. My wife has TMJ. In layman's terms, that's lockjaw. You know what happens to a penis that's getting blown by a girl who has lockjaw? She probably bit off her dude's dick. That's probably why she got fired, right? Last week, we're switching subjects now. Last week, my wife and I both had the day off, so I made some plans. We went downtown, we went to Wells Fargo, we did a little banking, we bought some beers, brought them home, we did a little bit of drinking, and I thought, if I play my cards right today, if we're good, I'll get a little spanking. Sex. Well, the only spanking I did was the kind of spanking involving a monkey. In case you didn't know, I have a superpower. I can make my wife's period start whenever I want to. And all it takes is a few magical words. I just have to look her in the eye and say, honey, we should have sex tonight. Spanking the monkey. That's a weird euphemism for choking the chicken, right?
Roughing up the suspect.
Roughing up the suspect. Who comes up with these things? It's just masturbation. For spanking the monkey, I like to believe that there were these two guys out in the wilderness in Africa. They're just wandering around, having a great time, probably. And they see a baboon, They got those big, colorful behinds. And one of the guys is like, I'm gonna go slap that behind. And he does it. He just smacks his hand against it. And he's like, whoa, dude, you have got to try this. It is oddly similar to jacking off. Okay, that's all I got for you guys tonight. We got another comedian coming up right after this. His name is Nathan Smezrud. Thank you for having me here tonight.